Hello and welcome to another video from the SQL for Beginners lecture series. In this video, we are going to look at join statements. So, joining is the defining functionality of SQL and sets it apart from other data technologies. So, let us look at how join statements work. So, first we'll look at stitching the tables together, which basically is what join statement is used for. Okay. So now we can see here we have two tables. One is an order table and the other one is a customer table. Okay. So in the order table we have order ID, which is basically the order number. Then we have order date, that is the date on which the order was placed. Then we have the ship date, that is the date on which the order is going to be shipped. Then we have the customer ID, that means to whom this order is going to be shipped to. Then we have the product ID, which means the ID of the product. Then we have the order quantity, which means the amount of products that is supposed to be shipped. And the final one is shipped, which is basically a boolean, and if it is false, then it means that the product has not yet been shipped, and if it is true, that means the product has already been shipped. In the customer table we have customer ID, then name, that is the name of the customer, and region, street, address, city, and zip code. This basically the rest of the columns basically is the address of the customer. So it is very important to note here that the customer table do not need any information about the order table. Okay, like even if there is no information or any columns from the order table present in customer table, even that is fine. So customer table can stand on like it do not need the order table, right? So therefore this comes as, this is called as the parent table or the parent. But as you can see in the order table we have a customer ID, which is referencing to the customer table. So therefore this becomes a child. Okay, so that's how we refer tables when we are dealing with when we are trying to stitch tables or maybe trying to join tables, right? So what are the different types of joins? First of all, we have inner join, then left outer join, right outer join, full outer join, and cross join. Okay, we'll look at each one of them in much more detail, but I'll try to make separate videos for each one of them, right? So in this video we'll try to explain what inner join is, and then we'll open up Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio and try to write our own SQL queries and try to do some inner join statements. So now, what is an inner join? The inner join allows us to merge two tables together. But if we are going to merge tables, we need to define a commonality between the two so records from both tables line up. We need to define one or more fields they have in common and join on them. For example, I suppose we have table A and table B, where in table A we have elements 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in table B we have elements 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So suppose we do an inner join between A and B. What we have is the output from inner join A and B will be the common points between A and B, and everything that is not in common will be ignored. So in this case we can see that 1, 2, 5, 6 are ignored, and only 3 and 4 are taken into record. Okay, so this is how an inner join statement works. Now we'll open up Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio and try to write some inner join statements. So I have opened up Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, and I have created this database called customer info, and if we expand this and we look at the tables, we have two tables with the name customer and order. Okay, so now let us open up a SQL workspace. Let us use this. First we'll have to use this database. I'll execute it, and then I'll just look at the two tables. Okay, customer, and the other one is select everything from order. Use square brackets here because order is a keyword and you might just get errors if you do not use square brackets. See, if you try to execute it, we'll get an error, incorrect syntax near the keyword order. So use square brackets to avoid it. Okay, so now if we take a look, I have created this small table having just 5 records. We have customer ID, name, region, street, address, city, and zip code. In the order table, we have uh, order ID, order date, ship date, customer ID, product ID, order quantity, and shipped. Like 0 means it is not shipped, and had it and if the value was 1, then that would mean the product was successfully shipped. So now if I wanted data from both the two columns and wanted to stitch it together, then we'll have to use something called as inner join. Okay, so let us see how to do that. First I'll write my select statement, and then I'll write the customer. For example, I use the customer table. One more thing, if you look at this is the order table, so we have a customer ID column, and if you go to the customer table, we can see that there's a customer ID column in this table also. So I'll use the customer ID to stitch both the two tables and get our required columns. So for that, I'll write the table name dot, then the column name, comma. Suppose I want to get the name, then suppose I want to get the city, the zip code, and suppose what else do I want from the order table. Let's see, suppose I want the order ID underscore ID, then suppose I want to get the order quantity. Okay, and the ship date. Okay, so next we want all of this. I want to join like from customer table, just write customer and then write inner join then we have the order table, sorry, we have the order table, and then we write on, and then the name of the customer, name of the table, customer dot, and then name of the column, the common, basically the common columns, right? Again we have the order dot customer ID. You can also use alias. For example, if I write the customer table as capital C, I'll have to use C here also, capital C, and if I use an alias here, say for example capital O, I'll have to use I'll have to use the same alias name while joining it. So now if you will we also have the customer, we need to change this because we use an alias. So now if I try to run it, we will see that we get information from both the two tables, right? So we have the customer ID, then we have the name, we have city, which are from the customer table, zip, then we have order ID, order quantity, and ship date, which are from the order table, right? Also, if you observe it closely, then in the if we look at the customer table, we have 1 2 3 4 5, we have customer ID of 1 2 3 4 5, and if we look at the order table, we'll see that we just have customer ID of 1 3 and 5. There are no 2 and 4, right? So what happens is when I run this, because 2 and 4 are not there, it will be ignored because they are not common to both the two tables, right? So therefore we do not get 2 and 4 customer IDs, and we get whatever is common between the two tables, and obviously the selected column names. So this is how you use inner join to sort of stitch two tables, and when you want, uh, basically just like I've shown you in the slide, the common columns, or the common not the common columns, the common records are, we are able to retrieve the common records when we use inner join. Okay, in the next video we'll look at how to use left join, and we'll also look at this. The syntaxing is pretty much similar, but we'll see how that goes. Like we have already shown you like what the left join looks like, but we'll get into the details in the next video. So this is it for this video. I hope you like this. I hope you found this helpful, and if you think that whatever I'm creating, this SQL series, if it is helping you out, do give it a like, share it, and subscribe to my channel, because your support means a lot and helps me keep motivated to create better content for you guys. Okay, so I'll end this video now, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Thank you.